Atmavandan, Hridayvandan. Greetings, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the session, Week 13, Achieving Spontaneous Right Action. After finishing our learning from Week 12, experiencing love flow is the foundation of this very chapter. And I hope we all understand that the work is deep, although the chapter looks easy, but there is a lot that we have to do. As the very paragraph starts with the simple same line throughout the chapter that we have learned from till 11th chapter, that everything is made in the image of God. The entire creation is made with love and is an expression of love. And in the very fundamental, the baseline of every creation is love. It means that for every experience that we have in our life, we need to dig deeper. On the surface, it might appear anything. But when we go deep, what we find is love. And this deep digging happens in the quiet period, in the period where we are with ourselves. It takes time. It is not just a process of digging deep, but also the integration. So there's no magic overnight. It is a journey of continuous awareness that we create our own reality with our thought. So the seventh part of the formula, God and I, claim and accept thoughts with forgiveness, thanks, and Amen. So be it. So here, if we take all the part of formula, it is only love. God is love. I am love. What I claim and what I want, what I accept is only my thought, not a thing. And that is when aligned with love. And there is only forgiveness and thanks. My heart is in state of love. The universe says, thank you. That is Tathastu, Amen. That is love. So that's a grace of the creation, that what we want is given to us. Sometimes we know, and sometimes, many times, we don't know what we want. But what we are living is all that we ever wanted from our aware or unaware thinking. So the whole course of action is to be aware of those thoughts, be aware, and keep watching with love in the state of total surrenderance to higher self, that I don't decide anymore. And this is that chapter, week 13. I let you decide and I follow you through. You take me where you want. When I don't understand things, when nobody can make me understand things, I know my higher self can only explain those to me. And this is the trust that will take us, that will start from this chapter, and it will take us all through our life, with all situations and with everything in life, you know. So let us gather ourselves here perfectly in the present moment with week 13, considering that whatever effort we have put till week 12, and we have done our part, we understand what Babaji is wanting to convey to us. And he wants us to look deep, be connected with ourselves, no more being scattered or just living life from others' opinion. There's only one truth, and align to that and start living from there. So let us close our eyes for 2 minutes. If you are coming from a rush place, Just feel free to clear your aura and be centered in your heart space. Influences are only on the surface. So take them away. Clear them yourself. And take a few deep breaths. And come to your heart center. Struggle with clearing aura, it simply means that we are under influence. So do it 2-3 times. And who have done it, just be at your heart center, breathing from there, opening it more and more. With every breath, integrate your breath. Integrate your body with your mind through this breath. Align it. Let your spine become straight, chest become open, shoulders open and dropped. So let us understand the power of our thought. With one thought, we can clear our aura and fill ourselves with love. And thoughts are things in our life. So the only seriousness we can put in ourselves is being aware of our every single thought. Quiet down and center. Is your heart breathing? Let us make some room and get ready for a new week. As we will go through this chapter, maybe we will get more clarity of the previous ones. And there is no doubt what we have learned so far is going to make this chapter understand easy to understand. Check your alignment, your heart and gut. And tell yourself that whatever we have done so far is good, and I'm ready to move forward to learn spontaneous right action. So let us connect with Babaji with that intention. His love and light. from his heart. The light is week 13, flowing with love. So open your heart and receive it. Tell yourself, I'm receiving week 13. I'm achieving spontaneous right action. In my perfect alignment, there is no doubt. Fill your body with this light. It just means that whenever we feel distracted, lost, the light is within. So ask yourself always first, build that connection with yourself. Babaji's presence and guidance is always with us through our higher self as a bubbling thought of love, of clarity, of recognition. So thank you, Babaji, for filling us with love and light. And the knowledge, the seed of week 13. Thank you and lots of love to you. And I welcome you all again back to the session. Open your eyes and let us greet Shaileshji today for chapter's understanding.
Thank you. Thank you. Greetings, everyone. I welcome you again. We are going to start a very important chapter. In Garimaji's language, this is the best chapter of all the chapters we have read so far. Every new chapter we come to seems like that. Why? Because we have built up our understanding on the previous chapters. That's why this seems so good. So this is an indication that we have been stepping on the steps properly. We have been stepping steadily every chapter as intended in the book, right? In the book intends us to step one chapter at a time, give it enough time to get absorbed. The way the content of the book is, the way the content of the chapters is that it leaves room for us to understand it in our own way. Every chapter, everything written in the book. On the surface, it looks very simple and plain, very easy, right? But why does he want us to do it for a week? Read it every day, practice it every day. One aspect of it is reprogramming of the subconscious. Repetition helps in reprogramming of the subconscious. But it also helps us stay with the content longer, not run or rush. Stay with the content longer and then go deeper. Understand the underlying meaning. Now, it would have been very easy for the explanation to be included in the book, right? For every chapter, the deeper explanation could have been easily included. But that would have been explanation of the person who is writing. And each one of us understands Every word, this is the beauty of language. Each one of us understands every word of the language in our own way. Right? One simple word called God is understood by everyone differently, especially in the Sanatan Dharma culture. We are encouraged to understand it in our own way. That is the beauty. So, the provision is already made in the book to let us understand it in our own way. And that is what takes us deeper within. Also, when we understand it in our own way, it stays with us. That becomes our knowledge, even though it's written in the book. But when my knowledge goes and mixes up with it, when I interpret that knowledge in my way, it becomes my knowledge. So that is the beauty of this book. Every chapter feels so lovely, so amazing, um, because we have established a deeper understanding from the previous chapters. So in this chapter, we are, as you know, the topic is achieving spontaneous right action. So essentially, it will seem like it is about karma, action. But the main aspect being focused in this chapter is spontaneity and the right action. So these two words, spontaneous and right, are significant in terms of understanding. We will we'll go through the chapter and stay focused in developing your understanding of the word spontaneous and the word right. These two things you need to stay focused to develop your understanding. What would you interpret these two words to be? How would these associate? Today, while opening the session, Preeti has given us a very beautiful idea also, that spontaneity is actually, it will come only when you surrender. You don't step in between. Then you will be spontaneous. Follow as it is coming from within. And so you are spontaneous. Right? So being spontaneous requires your surrendering. Right? And that surrendering is a very deep thing. Surrendering includes self-acceptance and acceptance of all that is as it is. So let's go further. Um, this whole chapter is encouraging us to get into the flow. Spontaneity also leads us into staying in the flow. Follow what's coming and keep going, right? Just like the river. A river never debates or deliberates, should I go this way or that way? It just flows wherever there is path of least resistance. And that when we start flowing like the river, we follow the path of least resistance. And what does that do to us? When there is no resistance, what happens? Your speed is very high, you are very fast, and there is no stress. There is no wear and tear. You stay in full energy. You stay alive completely. That is the beauty of spontaneity. So, with that, I will share the book with you on screen so that we can follow along the book together. Here. So now, This is the 13th week we are working in, achieving spontaneous right action. So there is something to be achieved here, right? We are aiming for something to be achieved. And for achieving something, naturally, effort is necessary. But before that, we will try to understand what this whole thing is about. So in the first paragraph itself, very familiar thing, but a little more understanding of the process. Right? So thoughts are the basis of all your actions. We know this by now. Before you act, there is a thought, however brief it may be. Sometimes you give a great deal of thought before you act. So in some cases, you may think very long and then you act. You think of all the alternatives, weigh the options, and try to predict results. Right? So you think, why do you think? You check all the alternatives from the perspective of an intended result. At other times, you act even before the thought is recognized. Right? So this is the other extreme of it. On one end, we are analyzing and debating and doing all kinds of things in the head. In the other case, it says, even before the thought can be recognized, you have acted. Right? So these are the two possibilities of acting based on thought. But in all cases, thought is there. There is a thought, right? So thoughts are the basis of all our actions. That is important to understand here, right? However brief the thought may be, but it is the basis. Now the next he says, nevertheless, all thought leads to action or affects some aspect of your action in some way. So the thoughts either directly impact the action. Say, for example, you are angry and you just pick up a plate and throw it on the floor. So that's spontaneous. Immediately you did it in anger, right? And the action happened. You didn't analyze where if I throw the plate, it will break and it will hurt somebody. None of that. You just did the action, right? So this is the corollary of what this course has been emphasizing, that all thoughts leads to some actions, some experience. So thoughts create our experience. And before the experience is created, action happens in between. So starting point is thought, ending point is experience, in between there is action. The key, therefore, to the most productive, fulfilling, and enjoyable activity is to have the correct thoughts. So when we understand that this is what is happening, what is the key to most productive, fulfilling, and enjoyable? All three things. It's productive. It is creating something. It's fulfilling. You feel satisfied. And then you enjoy also. All three things are happening. Just like, say, for example, if you have a art and craft kind of hobby, you do knitting or you do embroidery, whatever, right? So in that hobby, when you are in that mode, when you are doing that hobby activity, what happens to you? All three things happen, right? It is productivity. You are able to create something beautiful and it's fulfilling. You feel satisfied. I did it, right? And then you enjoy the activity because that's your hobby. So these three things are happening simultaneously. So um, what he's saying now, to have that kind of experience in every activity, what is the key? Not just the hobby, but also everything else. How can that be? He says the key is to have the correct thoughts, because that's what is starting everything. Not just the activity, but also the experience. See, the experience is these three things: productive, fulfilling, and enjoyable. These are the three experiences. So no one can argue with that. Everyone wants correct thoughts and everyone strives for correct action, right? And this is what each one of us wants also. Now, with all this striving and good intentions, why then do we see so much evil action? Just following this previous sentence, he says, everyone wants correct thoughts and everyone strives for correct action. When this is happening, then why do we see so much evil action, so much unhappiness, so much unfulfillment, and so much wasted motion? By now, you know the answer. It is simply because people are making up their own fantasies. So, the root cause of these other kind of experiences is the thought. They are making fantasies. They are making their own fantasies. They manufacture this beautiful word. They manufacture their own thoughts. So manufacturing, you know what, to me, what it signifies? Producing in bulk. Quantity is large and being produced in bulk. Just like a machine is producing. That is manufacture to me. So they manufacture their own thoughts instead of allowing themselves to be in tune with that one great thought that created us. That was only one thought that created this entire universe, and we are manufacturing thoughts. That is the difference. So, when one thought could create a universe, what will happen to thoughts being manufactured? What will they create? Think about that, right? Imagine how many universes are being created. Each person, on an average, this is a scientifically studied result that each person goes through about 68,000 to 72,000 thoughts in a day. So your mind is a thought producing machine. It manufactures thoughts. So, how many universes are you creating every day? That's the implication. Understand the significance of this knowing. You cannot stop your mind from creating thoughts anyway, right? It's a machine. It manufactures thoughts. So he says, what is the key? The key is, if you want to manufacture good, manufacture a good product. Why manufacture cheap, um, temporary products which can't give good experience, right? You want to manufacture? Okay, just manufacture, but manufacture good ones. The correct thoughts. That is the key. Okay. So, and another important thing in the last sentence is that the difficult experiences that we talk about, why are they happening is because instead of staying with that one thought, we have been manufacturing our own thoughts. So that he is associating with the experiences being created, which everyone, even though they are not striving to create these experiences, but they are creating. We are all striving to do what? This one. Correct thoughts and correct action. All of us want to do that. Right from our childhood, we have been taught, we have been conditioned. है ना? कर भला तो हो भला. So we have been trained to do good. So everyone is striving to do that. Or everyone wants to do it. Nobody wants to do bad things. Everybody wants to do good things, correct things, and be successful. So, but what is now he has quietly given us the root cause, that why our experiences are then not matching our intention. That is because we are manufacturing our own thoughts instead of staying with that one thought. So, when you are in tune with God's thought, then all the thoughts that bubble into your head are correct. That simple, right? You really want correct actions, so you need correct thoughts. Where will they come from? You just need to remain with that one thought, the God's thought, right? That is their thoughts. So, what he's saying, if you are in tune with God's thought, all the thoughts that bubble into your head, that means those 68,000 to 72,000 thoughts, will be correct. If you are in tune, that is, they are thoughts that propel you into action that can only give the experience of happiness, abundance, success, joy, love, and God's other qualities. So when the thoughts are correct thoughts, they will give you the experience of all the God's qualities. Because thoughts are creating our experience. We have understood this so far, right? So thoughts are creating my experience, and in between, my actions are involved. So when my thoughts are correct, my actions will automatically be correct, and my experiences will be that of God's qualities. Because that is the original thought. That's what I'm in tune with. So he is explaining, in the previous chapters, we had simply heard the statement that when you are in tune with God's thought, you experience all God's qualities. Now he is explaining the mechanism. Why does that happen? That's what he is explaining. Only the qualities of God are experienced with God's thought. You don't always experience God's qualities when you make up your own thoughts, which you are very capable of doing. When we make up our own thoughts, which he says we are very capable of doing, we don't experience God's qualities. Right? So we just take an example. How does this machine start working? Your thinking machine. When you see something happening, let's say you see your neighbor running on the street with a revolver in hand, and he's running past. So you just see him run by. Through your window, you are seeing he has a gun in hand and running. Imagine what story your mind is going to create. How many thoughts it will manufacture from just one scene, right? Imagine. And all of us can imagine our own stories in our own way. It will be, it will also involve our experience with that person if we have had in the past. So if that's your neighbor and you have interacted with the neighbor in the past, you know that person as a person, and then when you see him running with a revolver in hand, you will connect the two, and your story will be colorful. It will seem very enjoyable. And imagine you could take an action right away. You immediately put on your shoes and go out of the door and start running after, hey, what are you doing? Right? You could do that. That's an action you could take. Right? So from this story, you will take action. And in the process, you can get injured or whatever. You can create another fight. Something of that nature can be created. So we manufacture thought and then act and then create an experience. This is what has been happening all along. So you imagine what isn't true. Your imagination could be anything, right? Such as being poor, or being sick, or being wronged by someone, or being unloved. These are all equivalent imaginations, he's saying. It's just imagination, nothing more. Right? These thoughts are simply not true, and no amount of your thinking can change that. It cannot be changed. You can keep thinking. They can never become truth. These thoughts will always stay illusion, my own imagination. Creation was made for you to experience God's qualities. So now he's very firmly establishing the truth. What he's saying, creation was made for you to experience God's qualities. That is the purpose of the creation. Your little independent thoughts can certainly manifest the experience those thoughts represent. So, our little thinking can create or manifest experiences that this thinking is thinking. It can do it. Think of poverty and you will experience it. Think sickness and you will experience it. Think of growing old to die and you will experience it. Now, here you can have a thought, everybody becomes old and dies. What is so different? What else can I think? This we can deliberate in our thinking. Well, is this really a truth? We may have assumed that everybody has to become old to die. And we have an understanding of the word old, right? We have started calling it senior. All kinds of things we have, we are very inventive. Our mind will create new meanings and new aspects to it, but all of them lead to the same conclusion, right? That um, part of aging is to become weak, become old, and then ultimately die. Now, many things are in if you go deeper, you will understand the depth of this as to how many assumptions are involved in that one statement. Right? About Babaji, all of we know that, right? He still he can appear in body anytime he wants. He is considered to be a living master. How did he not become old? How did he not die? Right? These are some things to be thought. Just give yourself the thinking. Don't need to conclude anything on it, but just something to think that how our assumptions, our creative thoughts tie us down to an end result. Right? That's what he's trying to communicate here. Think they aren't loved, and that is your experience. Think you aren't loved, and that is your experience. Think of unhappiness, and that is your experience. Think people are out to hurt you, and that is your experience. So when our thoughts, which he says are our fantasies, will create an equivalent experience for us. So it is your experience, but that doesn't mean it is the truth. Although you are experiencing it, yes, to you it seems like the truth, but that doesn't mean that it is actually the truth. It is only your experience, may not be mine, right? Your experience. If I eat an ice cream, I feel happy. There's another person sitting by your side, give him an ice cream. He says, oh, no, 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 I will get a toothache right away. Right? So the truth of the same ice cream is different for two different people. That's what he's communicating here. Right? Your experience must follow what you think. You are made in the image of God. He is a creator, and so are you when then as a creator. So when God is a creator, you are made in the image of God, you are also a creator. So, as a creator, you create your experience using your thought. His creation began with his thought. Your creation also begins with your thought. So, till now in this chapter, this is the conclusion. Right? My creation begins with my thought. That's how easy he has made it for us now. So, this week, you expand your experience of manifesting what you truly want. So far we have established that we are manifesting using our thought. And what manifests is our experience. So the end result of our manifesting is experience only, right? Remember, you may want to, let's say, manifest a big house. House is a product, right? It is, but it's a medium, in between thing. The experience that you get from the house is what you are actually manifesting. When you manifest the experience of fresh air in the mountains, you are not manifesting the mountain itself. Mountain exists. The nature has created the stage for us. What we derive out of the stage is the experience. And from the same stage, different actors get different experience. That is the beauty of this provision. Each of us get very different experience from the same props. Prop is the same Himalayas. But for some people, oh, it's a very cold place, I don't want to go there. Who will climb all the way up? But for some people, wow, this is my connection to God. Some people have spent lifetimes in Himalayas sitting in a cave. Right? So each one of us has a different experience from the same prop. The prop, the creation, has given to us. Stage is there. It has created everything for each one of us. And why was it created? In this book, we have been told earlier, right? In this chapter, we read a little while ago, the creation is there for us to experience the qualities of God. So, purpose of creation is experience. Experience of God's qualities. That's why it was created. That's why when you go to a mountain, you go to a sea beach, that experience you get from there, you are not actually manufacturing it. That is the true experience that you are here for. Experience that wow, that awesomeness you feel. That awesomeness is coming from that God's quality. That is directly connected. So that is the purpose of us being here, by the way, right? But who has the time to go to Nainital? Yeah. Who will go? Okay, I will find 1 week in a year to go there, right? And in that 1 week, I will enjoy as much as I can, and after that, it's okay. Right? We cannot stay connected with nature the way it is meant to be used. We have created our own world, our own entities. So, where it came from? Our manufactured thoughts. So, this week you expand your experience of manifesting what you truly want. So, now the word truly has come in. What you truly want. This will actually cause a lot of problem for you. You start thinking about it, what do I truly want? You sit down and you will go through a list yourself and say, first something will come. No, I think I need this one. I want this one. I want, and you will jump from one to the other, to the other, to the other, and then you will get confused. Which is the truly want thing here? What do I truly want out of this whole thing? That's what becomes our um, confusion. Mind. Right? Mind wants everything because at the root of it, it still recognizes that everything is for me to experience God's qualities. But it can't um, understand it in its own way. That's where the gap is. So you begin to experience. So in this week, what you will do, you will begin to experience that you can spontaneously do the correct activity. This will be the discovery of this week, that you can spontaneously do the correct activity. You can do it. You have been doing some of it, but not all of it. So now you begin to recognize it. You will be able to see, oh, okay, this is the spontaneous one, and it is the correct one. It will seem that you won't even think before acting, but we know that can't be true. What happens is that you think of action just before doing it. That way, the thought and the action appear as one. So, spontaneity means the two things are happening so quickly that you can't even distinguish that there is a gap of time. So, you think that without thinking, I am doing. Spontaneity will sometimes feel like that. But remember that without a thought, action doesn't come. So that way the thought and the action appear as one. This is how it works when you are truly in tune with God's thought. So when you are truly in tune with God's thought, between the thought and action, there is no deliberation, no analysis. You just go and do it. That is such a beautiful thing. I can't really explain to you. When you pay attention to it and go through some of your past experiences, you will be able to recognize. To me, when I think about my past, there are some very significant actions that I had taken, and I can't. I when I sit and look at it, how could I take that action? I don't have that ability to be so wise, but that action happened. I know that because it is in my life, it happened and it produced wonderful results for me. But I can't take credit for it yet. That's how, when I look back, and there are so many of such things where I can't take credit for it because I know myself that it couldn't be me. It's not possible. Right? Very big decisions of life. They happened spontaneously, just like that. One of the decisions, by the way, was to leave India and come to Canada. Was a spontaneous thing. And when I took that action, um, it happened very rapidly. That whole processing was so fast, I didn't have time to think and debate. Before the paperwork came for me to go and shift to Canada, I didn't have much time to analyze anything. So this is the understanding of spontaneous action. So so what is important thing to understand. This is how it works. When you are truly in tune with God's thought, when you are truly in tune with God's thought. So it's not that those who are practicing unified are only the people who are in tune with God's thought. It's not like naturally there will be moments in your being that you are in tune with God's thought. And at that time, whatever action you take will immediately result in only correct experiences for you, experience of God's qualities. That is the significance here, right? So his thought bubbles into your mind. Now see the mechanism, how beautifully he's explaining this. His thought bubbles into your mind and quite spontaneously you act. Pretty soon, life just flows easily. You don't have to conjure, weigh alternatives, debate options, and then blindly leap. So what he's saying here, you don't have to do all this. So anytime when you are doing all this, know that it is not the spontaneous right action. When you are weighing alternatives, when you are conjuring in your mind, well, if I do this, that will happen, all that calculation. You are debating options, well, should I do this or that, right? And then blindly, even after doing all this, you jump into some conclusion. Okay, let me do this. So that he's calling is a blind leap. He says you don't have to do all that. You just act. 3 words. You just act. That is spontaneity. So when you use your own little thoughts, you blindly leap. There is no way you can know enough facts in your head to work out the right action every time. Significantly, very important thing, why he is calling it to be a blind leap. You have done the analysis, you have evaluated alternatives. Now you have taken, well, okay, based on what I know, this is my action, and this needs to produce these results for me. But he says that is a blind leap. Why is it blind? Because your own little thoughts, yeah, because no way you can know enough facts in your head to work out the right action every time. Your mind is limited. It cannot think of all possible situations that are associated with that action. Let's say you want to buy a new car. Yeah, you have options. This manufacturer, that manufacturer, one, two, three. You have kind of narrowed down. Okay, I want only either I want BMW or I want a Mercedes or I want a Audi. One of the three I want. Okay, you have narrowed down your choices. Now, out of that, you are doing your own evaluation. Well, okay, technically this is good, technically that is good, and this is German and that is one. All kinds of things you have done. And finally, you decided, well, okay, I am going to buy a BMW. Okay, you have made a decision. But from this, now you act naturally. You go to the dealership and start talking to the guy there. Well, I want to buy a BMW here. He will give you options. And that's where the confusion will start. Should I buy X5 or X7? Which one? Or maybe, oh, no, 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 I need to buy a sedan. All kinds of options will be given to you. And that will lead you to so much, in some cases, it may create so much confusion that you may say, okay, I will wait. I am not buying yet. You go back, start rethinking the whole process again, right? And ultimately, you did your deliberation, you bought the car, came home, happy, absolutely. Tomorrow we are going to Banff. Let's drive. We'll go. Good. You are doing all that, very happy. And then on your way, your tire goes flat. Brand new car, your first trip, and tire goes flat. This is Shaileshji's true story, by the way. And then what happens? Your mind says, is this why I bought BMW? So he says that your mind cannot assess all the facts associated with that action that could produce that result which you are expecting. What I was expecting was this will run flawlessly for me forever. That was my conclusion after the analysis. That car will give me the service, the best possible service forever. And on the very first journey, it gave me a flat tire. So flat tire is a very normal thing, but it was not part of my calculation. That was one of the possibilities. I never prepared for it. And BMWs don't have spare tires, by the way. Right. So this is all fun experience in life. You have all those things. But what he's, let me come back to the topic, that the topic is that your limited thinking cannot figure out all the facts associated with the achieving of the end result, end goal. That is where your limited mind will not be able to support you, right? So sometimes you might luck out, but never always. There are too many unknowns. Too many unknowns. Still, the mind cannot know everything. Now, see the beautiful thing. What is the solution? Here you go. However, remember that you have a quality of God described as all-knowing intelligence. God has given you that. That quality comes forth when you are in tune with His thought. When you are in tune with His thought, your all-knowing intelligence gets activated automatically. This is how you have been taking some beautiful actions in your life in the past, where you can't even give credit to yourself. Well, how could I have done that? But the results were perfect, right? Why? Because for that moment, you were in tune with God's thought, and your all-knowing intelligence drove you into that direction, that action, right? Then you instantly compute the right course of action. Because of the all-knowing intelligence, instantly, that spontaneity is that instant computation. In that same instant, you think of the action and perform it. Quick, quite automatically. It will feel like automatic, right? Right action is that action which gives you the experience of God's qualities. So now here is the definition of the word right. What is the meaning of right action? The criteria we have earlier declared in this chapter, right? The criteria of right. What is right? Right is the thought behind our creation, right? The thought behind the creation is what? You need to experience God's qualities. So to experience God's qualities, my action needs to be right. Right means the one for which it was, this whole creation is existing here. So what are those qualities? He's saying happiness, love, joy, bliss, abundance, non-judgment, unboundedness, all-knowing intelligence, peace, energy, gentleness, etc. All of this, we are here to experience all this. It is this right action that leads you away from your imaginations, right? So when you are in tune with God's thought, your imaginations will stay away from you. It leads you away from fear, insecurity, and loneliness, and toward abundance and true contributions to society. So this is the shift you will experience when you are in tune with God's thought. It is an action that is fulfilling and successful and satisfying. The ultimate, this is the ultimate. That state of nirvana has these qualities: fulfilling, successful, and satisfying. So look at the list of experiences you want to have that you wrote out several weeks ago. This was in week 9, right? In week 9, we wrote our true desires. That list is what he's referring to here. Compare that list with, once again, with the list you made of thoughts that are holding you away from those experiences. That was in week 7. In week 7, we prepared a list of our thoughts that need correction. So this week, you are going to put those lists together and start to manifest your own true desires. So this is the time when you start to manifest your true desires. Why did he not do it in the previous 2, 3 chapters? We learnt about manifesting in chapter 10, but he did not want us to do it there. now here in this chapter. Why? Because in between we needed to develop more connection with our all-knowing intelligence. That's what we were doing in week 11 and week 12. Understanding our own uniqueness. Our uniqueness is a very important understanding we have to have. Just today, in the Hindi group, there was a question about uniqueness. And Ajayji very beautifully explained it in such simple language, so beautifully, it touched my heart. So good. That was the first thing I read this morning, and it made my day. So, understand the uniqueness does not mean speciality. If you say, if we say you are unique, doesn't mean that you are special. Unique means you are one of your kind. That is the meaning of unique. You are one of your kind. And within you, you have attributes, qualities, which are a combination, a mix of all types of qualities that we humans classify as good and bad. We call them good and bad. So remember, quality is a quality. When creation happened, all attributes were available. They got created. All attributes. Then came our mind and started segregating. These are good ones, these are not good ones. And from there started this duality. Our experiences of good and bad. So understand this very, very important. Uniqueness is why I'm talking about it right again here, is because it is embedded in this whole spontaneity. The spontaneous right action requires your understanding of your uniqueness. So unique means I am a package, no other one like me, but I am a package, combination of a set of attributes and qualities, some of which are called good and some of which are not good, even in my own definition. So when I look at my own so-called weaknesses or not desirable qualities, I start considering myself not special. And that consideration leads me into not accepting myself. So uniqueness doesn't mean that you are not acceptable. You are unique. There is no possibility of comparison. Cannot be compared. So you, as you are, have been created out of that perfection. And you are a perfect individual. Perfection includes all your qualities. And, and remember, your identification as who, whatever your name is, let's say Shailesh, Shailesh is identified not by his good qualities. Shailesh is identified by the total package, which includes Shailesh's weaknesses, areas of improvement, all kinds of things are included there. That package is called Shailesh. So, my identity depends on my deficiencies. Not only my good characteristics, but also my deficiencies. Then only I can be called Shailesh. If all of my deficiencies were removed, this will become God. Won't be selfish anymore. Understand that. That is your uniqueness. That uniqueness is what we have to start accepting, that because there is no one more, another one like me. I'm unique. And the other definitions that are associated with my qualities and characteristics are human created. I, as a package, is created by the creator. But I am now beginning to dissect my own self into pieces, good, bad, ugly, all kinds of things. I am creating my own imaginations, and from imaginations, I am creating my experiences. Okay, but as a package, I am complete and I am perfect. All the God qualities are here as a package, unique package, right? So, understanding it properly, the meaning of the words is important, right? We sometimes have assumed meaning of words you heard from somewhere in some context, and you inferred that meaning within you. So checking your understanding of every word is important, right? So the question in the Hindi group came from that confusion. Uniqueness versus being special was confused. Okay. So be aware. And uniqueness relates to your correct action, your true desires. That's where you are unique. That's why you have to find it. Because you
It
are
was
unique.
unique versus perfect.
Ah,
So perfection was misunderstood.
even perfection is misunderstood. Perfection doesn't mean that you will get 100 out of 100. All your qualities need to be part of that category called good. That's not perfect. No, I am perfect as Shailesh. There is no more perfect Shailesh anywhere else. That is the meaning of perfection, right? Perfect for the purpose for which I have been brought here. That's the that's the plan in my creation. Each one of you has a role to play in the universe. That role is the perfection. And you are the chosen one perfectly for that role. That's why you are perfect, right? If you, let's say in the movies, if there is a person who constantly does negative roles, you make that person a hero in a movie. See what happens? Nobody accepts it. Why? Because his role for the industry is to be a negative character. That is the role. And he does it so well. Nothing bad about it. He's doing a role, right? This is how the creation is. Each one of us in this, I think this chapter or previous chapter, we were told that we all have a role to play. And for the role, we have been perfectly created. That is the meaning of perfect. Perfect for the purpose. Okay? Perfect doesn't mean that all encompassing, everything included. No. Specific to me. That's where uniqueness is associated with that. So I'm uniquely perfect. Okay? All right. Um, so what he's asking us to do is compare the two lists, the week 9 list and the week 7 list, right? My thoughts that need correction versus my true desires. Okay. The the true desires are my unique ones, right? My special, uh, unique to me. Okay. And my thoughts that need corrections are also unique to me. That's why he says, you work it out. I'm telling you how to do it, but work will have to be yours. Why? Because you only know about them. Nobody else knows. You will be surprised. Some of your true desires, you yourself will be surprised. Oh, do I really want it? But they were hidden inside somewhere. They will pop up when you sit and do that exercise. So today, write out a creating formula. So now he's telling us the way. Okay? Write out a creating formula for guidance in achieving spontaneous correct action. So today's correcting formula is guidance in achieving spontaneous correct action, the title of the chapter, right? So you need guidance. First, you ask the higher self for guidance. Guide me how I can achieve spontaneous right action. Use your quiet period to ask help from your higher self with this formula. Check your communication and the correctness of the formula with your yes and no signals. So, as we do it in the workbook, that the steps are given very clearly how you do it. It's very simple. Now, as we have learned to communicate more with higher self, we have learned to use our yes and no signals. The more you practice yes and no through these exercises, the more you will start becoming perfect at it. Right? These are low risk items for you to start working on practice of the signals yes and no. So use your quiet period to ask for help. Ask your higher self, tell me, how can I create a formula for achieving spontaneous right action? Right? Give me the wording. And you will get a thought from your higher self. And then you repeat the thought and say, well, did I catch it? Then you will get a yes and no. Right? From there, you will know, well, did I get the right thought? And if you got the right thought, write it down immediately. Okay? This is a very important creating formula, right? So feel comfortable with it, right? You need to feel comfortable. That is the important. Feeling comfortable means you are not in the mind anymore, you are in the heart. You should become comfortable with the formula. Say it meaningfully and with love every day. Whatever you get from your higher self, that formula that you have created, that's the formula you will repeat for yourself throughout the week. Tomorrow, you are to pick an activity to create from your list of experiences you want. So the first exercise is about creating the formula and then repeating the formula for the week. And the second one is now about manifesting a true desire. How do you do that is what he's explaining. This is the second part of this week's exercises. Okay. So pick an experience that seems attainable, one you do believe can happen. So from your list of true desires, pick up something which you can believe in. Yes, it is possible, right? To begin, it's in the early stages, we need to have a believable objective. Everything is possible, and that you will very soon realize. So once you practice and start manifesting, you will begin to realize that everything is possible now. Then your mind will not interfere. So for this first experience, however, it is important that you own your own doubts, fears, and imaginations don't block the manifestation. That is the reason why we are talking about pick up something believable. So pick something that is believable. Next, use a quiet period to check and make sure that the activity you choose is in your highest interest. This is so now you have an activity, you want to achieve that. Now you want to manifest your true desire for some small objective only. Okay. Then what you do with that next is check with your higher self in your quiet period. Is it in my true interest or not? Is it in my highest interest? You do this by asking your higher self, and be sure to have its signal. So once you have the signal of higher self, then only you ask if it is wise to ask a question about that topic, whatever that topic you have chosen. Describe the activity. If you get a yes, then ask, is it in my highest and wisest interest to do that activity, right? Do or manifest that desire. Okay. So that you will have to mention here. If you receive a yes signal, then write out a creating formula for the experience you want. Then once you receive a yes, then you write out a formula. Again, you can use higher self's help to even create the formula. Okay. Check with your higher self for any thoughts you need to deal with that could interfere with the experience. Same process, right? You have to. So in part 3, we claim and accept whatever the desire is. In part 4, we deal with obstructing thoughts, right? The thoughts which are not letting it happen. So check with your higher self for any thoughts you need to deal with that could interfere with the experience. Also use your yes and no signals to check the correctness of your creating formula, right? So this basically the process is simple. Interaction with higher self, use yes and no. So far your language with higher self has this confirmation part, yes and no. Use it as much as you can. Okay. So remember, you are still learning these techniques. Do not try to leap too fast. Okay. So don't try to do too many. Just do one and see the result. Okay. Try doing that way. Just do these two creating formulas first. Feel comfortable and grounded in using them. Before long, you will be using them regularly as the basis of your thoughts to bring whatever experience you and your higher self know is in your highest and wisest interest. So very soon you will be applying it. Initially, it seems like a big activity. Oh my God, how will I do? Do it. Go through it. Ultimately, what you are doing, as I have mentioned in chapter 10 when I was talking, it's more about reorganizing your thought. Right? The whole thing about creating formula is reorganizing thought only. Why? Because in this chapter you have understood correct thought brings correct action. And correct action brings the experience of God's qualities. That is the importance of doing this. And when your whole life becomes like that, imagine every action that you take is going to bring you the experience of God's qualities. Once you become that, imagine how beautiful this life is. You don't want to go to heaven then. it will come to you right here. Right? So that's all in this chapter today for me to share here. You of course can read the chapter by yourself. Um, if there is something, you can repeat the recording of this chapter and um, listen to any specific areas where you have doubts. And then, of course, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, we have 2 more sessions where you can ask questions. We will clarify the doubts. Okay. So, yeah. And there is a lot of thing here that I haven't read through the um, chat. But if there is anything specific, Preeti, you want to add something?
English Day first session is so beautiful because we have already so much input from Hindi group that we already had. And from the day one of English group, the discussion goes deep and we truly enjoy. So everything was simplified enough, added enough, brought so much of clarity. So if you are listening it for the first time, the reading the chapter for the first time, you may want to do it again. You may want to go through the explanation again and do your own study. Connect with your higher self and ask question. There's the time where you can ask whether I'm understanding correct or not. In that understanding we can work with higher self signal of yes and no. So we can make those opportunities to, work through these signals as well as the study. I know it. Our general tendency is not to keep asking question. So this practice is a little bit different. Everybody got higher self signal. How come it is different from yes and no signal? Including myself, I've been struggling. That there are moments when I have to think, and there's a big decision, I will be stammering there. But I know from my intuition, because I won't be leaving that stuff behind. I will be doing it no matter what. So then I understand, okay, this is what I have to do. So yeah, but it's better that we don't put ourselves in dilemma and work through these signals. We don't know how long it would take. So that is what is the area of research for me. How it is easy, how we can make it easier to recognize, how we can make it easy to use, right? So many times we are in flow, we don't know. Many times that things are happening in the right way, we don't know. So I just love the whole chapter reminds me one letter, and that is the unknown is so big. And it appears in various chapter in a different way, because there are so many unknowns. You would never know the entire picture of anything that is happening. You would never know what you want to do, and you can just think from your past experience and decide and go about it. No. So for that unknown, we have to have our eyes of our higher self. And for that, we have been working. And the moment we start recognizing that presence, that silent voice from the behind, where, there's a simple nudge. How about you go and do this? How about you try it? Why are you thinking like this? Can you not think like this? What is making you think so um, so much intense overthinking? So one chapter I learned, one thing that I learned from last two chapters is don't take things too personally, because personally you are the image of God. But what else you create your identity with your experience and thoughts are is going to be painful as much as you take it personally, right? So just like we help others by listening their problems, we give instant solution. We have to listen to ourselves, and that will happen only when we hear from the state where things are okay. Only ego is crushing, I know. Only one belief system is breaking, not entire thing. So just go with it. So I thoroughly enjoyed the explanation again, and I loved seeing Sheelamji, Deepmalaji, Ajayji making notes. And I too was inspired today to put something in my subconscious by writing. So keep doing that. I think that's the easiest way to do some contemplation and subconscious reprogram. So today is full moon along with a lunar eclipse, and it's the best day for any release. Not to manifest a big thing in your life. So just be with the first formula today, that I want to achieve spontaneous right action in our creating formula. And that is more focused on working on the release part, right? So the more the release is, the manifestation is instant. So let us open the layers where we feel we can act spontaneously. And lately I have recognized that acting spontaneously, it also means acting effortlessly, right? There's no effort. So you may not know if you have a thought pattern that is a good thing comes with an effort. You need to put effort to get something that you want. The bigger your want is, or something that you want to create, means your action, the bigger your effort should be. So this might be a blocking thought that you can think of yourself. Many times when we work effortlessly, we think we are not doing anything. And that is a very negative thought, big negative thought. So I keep posting so many things in Hindi group, and that comes from my own experience. And so here today I am with this thought that you would like to explore for yourself. What if you feel you are listening a message from within and acting spontaneously? Would you judge yourself because your ego is not boosted with that act? You're not flattering yourself. You're just saying, oh, this is very natural to me. Oh, what a big thing. Right? So just check with that if that comes to you as a block, that anything that I do and it's a big thing and I have to have hardship with it. I want to deal with some problems and then do the right thing. And that is where the chapter specifically say that it is a spontaneous, and the right action is that action that brings you experience of God qualities. It brings us thought that will bring us satisfaction, fulfillment. All in our life, what we seek is this, from our work, from our family relationship, from our own living, right? So this is very core of the chapter and of our being also, that we would like to work. Deepmalaji, only if you have any question related to this, then we can talk. Otherwise, if you want to share experience, we can do after the session. Okay? Yeah, good. So let us get into the practice, since we have all this hearing for 1 hour and more. We have been listening. Feel it in your body. From head to toe. Is there a harmony? Or you feel you're sitting on one side or clenching to some part of the body, shrinking or shrugging. Or you are just feeling expanded, supported, nurtured. A kind of inner knowing came to light, and you felt light. Breathe in and breathe out with this thought. Feeling your body, feeling your breath. Be more focused in your chest area and your stomach. Our gut is the place we hold a lot of emotions, mostly of fear. And truth cannot be outside of us, it is inside us, inside this body. The ease that we breathe every breath tells about God's presence. And the difficulty of being in the body tells us about our strong belief system. On which we have been living for so long and so long. It feels like we can't live without it. We don't even recognize it as a belief. How can be? How can nothing without this? So breathe into your body. Head to toe, head to toe, head to toe, toe to head. And exhale out. At least be willing to release, recognize those beliefs. There are ladders, there are chains of thoughts on which we have been living. Ask yourself, which one is the strongest? A male personality, a female personality has to be a certain way. The married life has to be a certain way. Or my work, I have already decided. Just check. Any image, any event, any word that appears as you bring these thoughts in front of you. Now breathe one more time, head to nose to head, filling the body and connect with Mother Earth today. And feel grounded. Connect to the core of the earth. Just feel as if the string or a rope extending from the tail of the spine and anchored to the core of the earth. And from this rope, we are breathing in and out, receiving love from Mother Earth with every breath. So breathe in from the core of the earth to the heart of yourself. And exhale back into the earth. And make that connection. Maybe one time you will feel that there is a pipe that is filled with water through which we are receiving love in a flowing motion. Let yourself visualize, let yourself be creative, or just be feeling that. Innumerable times we have come to this planet, received by Mother Earth, and she has seen us grow. And nothing is its favorite. So with her love received the equanimity for all life. When nature can do it, we can align to the nature. Without any manipulation, trying to be can just be. All that we need is just to feel that connection. Just notice, how do you feel at the bottom of your tailbone? Any warmth, any tingling sensation? Or in the sole of your foot if you are sitting on a chair? If that is easier for you. Now feeling this oneness, remain in that oneness, be at your heart center. To achieve spontaneous right action, the first need is to own the thought. That thought is truly ours, and it can only come from our higher self, no one else. Otherwise, thoughts will be an influence coming from the belief system, coming from the family or loved ones, or with our past attachments. Ask your higher self, what thought would I like to release today? Which belief system that is holding me tight today? That love is surrounding me, but I don't see it. We don't create thought, we pick thoughts. So let us tune ourselves to be alert and aware, to pick what my higher self is feeding me. What thought I would like to work today to release that is blocking me, to experience spontaneous right action. Maybe you can check for the conditions for love we are living. We all talk about unconditional love, but when it comes to expression, what condition? Pulls us back to experience that love or to express that love. When the core of my existence is love, what is holding me away from living it? Or maybe you can ask yourself that, why do I think that any action has to be difficult? Or if it is fulfilling, has to be achieved with a lot of hardship or difficulties. I have not put effort enough to have it. See your mind crystal clear. Thoughts are coming up on the surface. You may want to note them. Or if you are blank, just be watchful throughout the session. So breathe in love, feeling love into the body, feeling your aura around the body. Find yourself smiling and clearing your aura, sending love and light. This smile it resolves all the problem of not feeling love can be resolved in a moment. So let it come to your face and see how those influences are looking at you. And you are talking to them. Maybe they are appearing confused. And adding more confusion to you. So come to your core, feeling your heart. And let it flow from your heart. To all uninvited influences in my aura, I send love and light. You are each whole and healed. You are each created as love and light. And you are still love and light. No need to be afraid. Do not feel the pain. I know a perfect place for each one of you to go. And I request my higher self name to take you there now. Each one of you go in peace. I set you free. And breathe in freely. And again, with that smile, radiate this love and light to all the thought forms around you. And I close my aura to all except my higher self. My higher self only guides me. And I listen to you. My dear higher self, today I want to achieve spontaneous right action. Please guide me. Can you please give me your signal now? Feel that gentle presence. This feeling of love is the feeling to recognize we are unified. Trust it. God is love. God is light. God is happiness, joy, and bliss. God is stillness and peace. Gentleness God is all-knowing intelligence. We called omniscient. Knows everything because it holds the whole entire creation in that one thought. That is love. And in that love, there is no judgment. There is no proceeding or punishment. God is non-judgmental. And so I am. I am love. Say it aloud and let it vibrate into the whole body. God is light, so I am light. Listen again. I am joy. I am happiness. I am bliss. I am that in God's thought. That's God's nature, that I am, being its thought. Breathe in and breathe out. Feel that love more and more. Feel that worth we carry in God's eye. And from what space do we live our life? Knowing little, trusting little, or we fear the ego that comes with all knowing. Whatever it is, that is my limited belief again. So, I am happiness, I am joy, I am bliss. I am all-knowing intelligence. Knowing all that is to know. For me, right now. Feel it. You may feel your fear also. It's okay. Just feel it. Be with it. Because God is perfect and it made us perfect. God is stillness and peace. And that is what I am, even in my fear. I am stillness. I am peace. On that surface, the fear arises and I see it. And I dare to see it, what it is. I know it. I laugh at it. And I let it go. Keep your spine erect and breathe into the body with every affirmation. Take it deeper and deeper. And those God qualities, you need them more today. God is everywhere present. I am everywhere present. The thought that I receive or appears to me of somebody, someone, from where it comes. So expand further this physical body little more, so that you can see the mind easily from the state where there is no judgment, no fear of proceeding or punishment, of breaking one belief. Be determined. I am non-judgmental. Hear it again and again. Let your every cell of the body hear, I am non-judgmental. And take ourselves back, that limited self. Just let this vibrate in every cell of the body. Sing with it. Dance with it. The love, the joy, the peace, the abundance, all knowledge. This expanded self is enjoying this stirring of life. Step back and watch. My dear higher self, I want to make my claim today for spontaneous right activity. So I claim spontaneous right activity for myself, and I accept spontaneous right action for myself. Knowing fully that my thoughts are my action that impact my experience. Intense thought, intense experience. Gentle thought, gentle experience. Can you feed me the thought that is preventing me to do the right action spontaneously? Be ready with your pen and paper and start writing. How can I act without thinking? Or considering what is right or wrong? I choose safely from my past experience. I know what is good, what is right. Maybe the thought that I learned from others' experience. So I refer to them to find what am I creating for myself. It simply says that we get affected by looking at others' experience of being sick, of being lonely, of being a failure. So, what others are doing, I don't want to experience. So, I refer to that. So, I'm continuously outside, looking outside of me. Was to know my true desire. We create all the blocks, all the difficulties in our head. To be successful, to be recognized, to be fulfilled, satisfied from our action. What thought are you getting that is stopping you from doing the right action spontaneously? Where we know right action is the action driven from God's thought, God's qualities. Now recognize those thoughts that brings conditions to your expression, to the action. The expression of love. And what all you would see, you will find there is a judgment on yourself. So there cannot be true expression. What others will think. So pick up those moments where you have taken yourself back in expressing your love, because maybe I wanted to give words to my love expression. Where love was just flowing. Maybe holding someone's hand in public is not acceptable, or a giving hug due to gender difference. So my spontaneous action of expression of love was blocked. So take your time when you sit in your quiet period and reflect on this spontaneous right action. Throughout your day, when it comes to express your love or when it comes to express or act. What holds you back to flow naturally? So breathe in and breathe out and relax. Take this opportunity to unfold the secrets of life, where the limited mind became active, weighing options, comparing with others, and is not letting us flow in life effortlessly. And to flow in life effortlessly, only one thing is required, is my awareness on my thought. Whether it is aligned with God's thought, having the qualities of love, peace, happiness, living my uniqueness, my freedom is my freedom. Again, think for a moment, when you leave this planet, do you want to regret for anything today if it happens? That you stopped yourself from doing it? Because it was one of your desires, a thought that you have created. You'll come again to experience. So do not take it light until you have released those thoughts. Now take that experience you wanted to have and check whether there was any God qualities in it. That you got that thought that you wanted to experience. Was it the experience of love or your expansion? Or telling something to someone? And ask your higher self about it. Is this chosen activity? Is this chosen action? Is in my highest and wisest interest? Express your thought. So let us end this struggle of me and you. Me and others. By acknowledging this fact that we are all unique, but at the same time we are unified with love. So any expression from my action is the desire of my higher self. The all-knowing intelligence is guiding me. And I trust spontaneous right action is possible as I know how to connect with it. I can be connected with all-knowing intelligence throughout the day, receiving higher self's thought. And I let myself act without weighing options. Without comparing from others' experience. Without making up my own fantasies. And I release my fear of being in danger in those actions, of being vulnerable in those moments. I don't need to blindly leap. So I release these thoughts one by one, heal them. With all-knowing intelligence, with true expression of love, with uniqueness. With higher self-presence. To release the fear of failure from the past experience. Or kind of any guilt or regret. Of missing the opportunity, any mistakes. These are just experience and not the truth. Repeat within you. I choose to tune into God's thought. As I release and heal myself, all the thoughts in my subconscious or conscious that I am aware of or unaware. As I know I am all-knowing intelligence. I am the image of God. And I act from this state of all-knowing. Just observe any deep sensation in the body, any shivering or itching or any vibration. You have taken the work deep. So something which is very much rooted within is trying to come on the surface. That unknown. So allow. Do not fight or resist these sensations. Breathe into it. Let your body expand, feeling that gentle support from Mother Earth. Feeling grounded, holded and supported. Feeling beautiful, perfect, aligned. As you are just watching your shadow. Embracing its true identity. Let it merge, let it merge. There is nothing wrong about our own imperfection or weakness. Those are the opportunity to live in life. To learn more of love, more, and live more of love. So I feel my heart is totally in surrender, in surrenderance to my higher self, trusting it more. Knowing my true potential is far more than I ever thought. And now I allow myself to express it. And the way to live is the spontaneous right action, to open the all-knowing intelligence to flow. So be sure to work with the signal for now, to recognize that feeling of spontaneous right action. Feeling your heart, feeling your perfection, and gratitude for life, for past experiences, as my heart is in state of total forgiveness. No complaints, I thank God for helping me achieve spontaneous right action. Amen. That has to, so be it. I surrender my claim. Of achieving spontaneous right action. To the natural law of nature. Thank you. I let it go. So God and I claim and accept that I am all-knowing intelligence. I am unique. I receive my higher self guidance. And I act with forgiveness and thanks. Amen. Now let us thank Babaji for guiding us today. For this beautiful session. And thanks to our higher self for being present there always. Serving us, feeding us. for us to enjoy the experience of living in the body, for upgrading our mind to a higher mind with higher self only. So I set my mind free and choose spontaneous right action. Thank you. Thank you for being there today. And whatever has happened already. Just trust the process. So you may come back to the creating formula again and ask yourself in those areas where you feel you hold yourself back when it comes to act or express. Living in the flow is a bliss to life, blessing to human life. That is God's grace. So enjoy it. Now feel that harmony in the body again. Maybe feeling that cooling sensation or gentle settlement in the body. As if the ocean had a big wave, a tide, and now it has settled back into the ocean. And you are the ocean back again, the ocean of love. Welcome back. Take both your palms and put it over your closed eyes for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Thank you. Sorry, Deepmala, you can take your time. We were still here. But yes, I know the process felt so deep and intense. Even the body was feeling so much of sensation as I was guiding. Thank you, Srilamji. But the best part is to um, let it unfold through every day as we go through the day and see yourself when you feel clenched or you are stepping back from doing anything. Recognize those moments and it will help you recognize those thoughts that needs to be corrected. Enjoy the bliss of no thought, Achalaji. So chapter 12 and 13, how deeply it is integrated, right? One chapter before we learned about the expression of love, and here we are learning about spontaneous action. So I wonder how the two thought came together. Which is love is natural, right? We are in the ocean of love, but we still don't let it flow. One day Nehaji, the other Nehaji, not the admin Nehaji, was sharing that She is afraid of receiving love. What if she gets 2-3 proposals at once? How she is going to choose? She is afraid of manifesting love. I can understand from where she is speaking. But you know what? Sometimes we really don't need to know all of it. Sometimes we just recognize that there's a fear, and I recognize in the body without agitation, we do half of the work. And then the half of the work is easy with higher self.
You cross the bridge when you reach there. Let there be 4 proposals. Wait for it. Then you will automatically figure it out. You will know. Instinctively, you will know. At least this was my experience when I got married. Yes, let's hear Ajayji.
The Shailaji and Masters. Yeah, you really don't feel like you're talking, but there is so much of experience, and I thought I was trying yes and no today, quite small things. Sometimes I got most of them right, but somewhere my higher self is sometimes very stubborn. He doesn't listen. So I had a fight with him, and I said, okay, so if you don't understand, it's fine. But I tried for the last 2-3 days. I am on my heart center all the time. I am absolutely ice inside now. This is beautiful. And as usual, Pritiji, close your ears. I but you really enjoy it. That perfection. In the Mundaka Upanishad, there is a beautiful simile there of 2 birds. So in a tree, there are 2 birds are there, and he's saying Suparna and Sayuja. When they're gorgeous looking, and both are just like related or something like that. He's saying, or one friend, and one is sitting on the top of the tree, and another is on the lower branch. So this bird, let's say second bird is sitting on the top, the first bird is on the lower branch. So when in the lower branch, he sees a lot of these fruits are there. So he's eating and enjoying it. And sometimes a bitter fruit comes. So when he bites that bitter fruit, he is disoriented. Then he looks up, sees the first bird. He said, I am perhaps making a mistake. I must go there. Maybe, if I'm there, so I will be peaceful like him. Then he hops into the next branch. And then again he sees beautiful fruits are there. He starts eating. And then suddenly again he bites a bitter one. And then he looks up. And lo and behold, slowly he is moving up. So when he reaches the top, he finds out, this is very important. This has to be your. And he found that first bird was never there, and he was all along the second bird. Are you getting? The first bird who was eating, he was hopping, and when he reaches the top, so he finds he was all along the second bird, and the first bird was not there. So that means the first bird is our lower self with all his imperfections, but when he reaches then the top, he finds he is perfect, and this imperfect body was not there at all. So Pritiji, today perfection, imperfection, your perfect is equal to imperfect. So beautiful it is, isn't it?
So there's a term called higher mind. When I was studying about Aurobindo Ghosh knowledge, right? So he created a layer of mind. So then I thought, oh, this is what he was talking about. Then I didn't understand much. It was very much hypothetical, but yeah. So your
You will be
mind is
so
only purified. That's the journey of meditation. That's what Vipassana is saying. That's what it
absolutely.
is, living from that state. So then there is no higher self outside you. You
Yes,
know, over
yes.
the period of time, you will see, I am not getting higher self signal. What happened? And this is what the research comes.
Yeah.
After this yes and no signal, alignment is happening. And then you tune into that. Then where is the signal? Where is the sensation?
So beautiful. Even if again, I am drawn because I'm so beautifully. I can integrate it now. I can see the depth of their inside. In Bhagavad Gita also, he's saying, "You offer every action to me." What is that? That's God. He's saying, "Don't think." And the beautiful verse there is, I think everybody knows this verse, and before any satsang or something, before you take prasad, so this is the Brahmarpanam Brahmahavi, Brahmeva Brahmarpanam Brahmahavi, Brahmana Hutam, Brahmeva Tena Gantabhyam, Brahmakama Samadhina. Brahma Arpanam. That means there is a fire rich ritual, or you can take an act also. Whatever you are offering is Brahman, means God. Brahma Arpana Brahma Habi. That fireplace, the fellow who is also, he is also Brahman. Brahmagno, that fire is also Brahman, the God. And Brahma Arpana Brahma Habi, Brahmagno, Brahmana Hutam. That the person who is putting that ghee into that, he is also Brahman. Brahmeva Tena Gantam, Brahma Karma Samadhina. So whoever is saying everything is Brahman. So once you are aligned to the higher self, that means everything is Brahman. Everything is you. Sorry, you and God. There is no difference there. And I'll take you to in a Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. So in the sutra, he defines yoga chitta vritti nirodha. There is no modifications of the mind. When there is no modification, that means there is no wave, like wave like things in the mind, because every thought brings a wave. And when there is no thought, so that means the mind is not there, because the very definition of mind is a flow of thoughts. So that state is the state of yoga. And then what he says in Sutra 3, he comes back, he says, then what happens? Tadadrastu swarupe avasthanam. Then the seeker is established in his true self. That means when you are not using your mind, then you are established in your true self. And what is the true self? Your higher self. And then what happens? He says, what is the benefit? Atyantika dukkha nivriti paramananda prapti. See, so beautiful it is. And can you say Unified is a simple book? Everything he has put it there. All the rasas. So beautiful it is. So beautiful it is.
It feels so amazed that this much wisdom can be put in this small little book.
Absolutely.
And that too by an American living in a corner, going in mountains to write these chapters.
Preetiji, he started in the 6th chapter. He said, if you tell somebody, you give the thing, because as individuals, we don't want to give anything. So, that is a beautiful story. So somebody fell into the well. So this fellow trying to lift him, he's saying, give me your hand. Because he cannot give, because his mind is set. why he cannot give. Then he realized this fellow, why he is reluctant, because I am trying to lift him up. He said, take my hand. The moment he said, take my hand, that fellow takes it.
He says, as a lawyer, I just had one quality that, people will come tell in the lines, they just keep telling and I have to keep typing. So I had mastered that quality, and because of that, I could do this work. That's the only quality I can recognize in me.
Yeah. No, see, Pritiji, what he has done in the 6th chapter, he said first, receive love. 7th chapter, he said, then he said, receive. I am received. Then he feels, he may feel guilty. Oh, I am receiving now. Then 7th chapter, he said, give love. And then he comes back here. What you will give, what you will, everything is love. So beautifully he has built it up also. 11th, 12th, 13th, oh my God.
That is aspect of God's thought. Every chapter is extension of chapter 7 in part 2.
Yeah, it's so beautiful, the context, the way it has been expressed and the built up, and Shailesh beautiful insight, and your your subjective analysis, his objective analysis, is wonderful. And Deepmalaji and Nehaji, oh my God, all the masters are so beautiful, so beautiful. So question. I picked up one question because I'm not very fluent in Hindi. And there it was there, that was just for me. I thought, oh my God, this is for me.
And that is your true expression, so it is for many.
Correct.
That's the thing.
So now imagine how difficult it is for Preeti and me to teach this book. We have to start from chapter 1. We can't even express all that we know because we have built up all the understanding till chapter 25. Right? That will start flowing. We have to control, we have to contain ourselves. Well, right now we are only at this stage. We talk only this much.
Tune down. Every session it starts, you have to come down, do some mistakes, make your miserable experience. That's the easiest way for me. And then you guide perfectly.
Yeah. And then you explain, then you start explaining, and then your higher chapters start flowing, and then Preeti ji piche se danda. What are you doing? So I have to contain. Especially this time around, what is happening when we are teaching the part 2, we are working on the workbook for part 3, and that content is alive in my head, right? That part 3 content.
When we worked on part 2, it was a revision time, so you didn't get impacted with that. And now part 2 and every chapter we are seeing, it is like extension of this. So it comes back here, but as a new participant, I find sometimes, it's this much only is more than enough to take. When I have the all-knowing intelligence has to act, then why do I need to get the signal? That was my first question. Why do I need the signal to keep trying? Then I learned, okay, you don't know the state of all-knowing intelligence, so you work with the signal. Then it's like a supporting wheels that you put on the bicycle when you're learning a bicycle.
Yes.
So this is what it is.
Very inventive. Mind is very inventive. It can override God. He said, no, you are making mistake. This is God's thought. Mind is very, very, very
creative.
Very creative.
So my learning of unified comes from my life, putting all these, things together in execution. And I have seen how wonderfully things have been working out. All those experiences I ever wanted, even in the silent head, it says that every thought counts your in your experience. They impact your experience. So big thought, bigger experience. Small thought, small experience, but again it will come.
But Preeti ji, you now, like in 2nd chapter, there is term called sthita prajna, means the person who is realized and he remains in that state. Then the characteristics have been given. So in Adi Shankara, he's saying, why in the second chapter, when you are just starting, he's talking about that and qualities. He said, because that's what he's saying, where you have to reach. This is where you have to go. Now, when we are looking at you and Shailesh, we know where we have to reach. And if we don't reach, Pritiji, you know.
No, it's difficult. What you are seeing is 3 years old of unified revision. We have poor student. You are starting from there.
And I firmly believe that everybody can reach where we are today. There is nothing that stops but themselves, right? It's only their own current state that may not allow them to, and which is again a perfect thing. That's another beautiful thing about perfection. That is also perfect. Why? Because they are not yet ready with the background experience necessary for um, achieving this state. So once the experience profile builds up, they will automatically flow in. And the
And
very fact that they are attending the course tells that they are very close. They can't be far away.
And the workbook is beautiful in the, really to how to walk it. That is beautiful. How you have read it, you have understood it, but how you walk the distance. So it shows how to walk. That is a beautiful one. And Shaileji and Pritiji, the master takes the responsibility of the student till he reaches the top. So, so don't go away saying that it is you will all get it. No, it is your responsibility.
I can just tell you, what I think sometimes I was just yesterday I was thinking, so it's a full moon effect, right? So if I would have known this is what is going to happen when I started my meditation journey or unified journey, I wouldn't have stepped into it. And that is what I felt when I saw people are ready to go to Kashi Vishwanath temple and they're in the very bottom. I know they're 9 hours behind the line. What if I tell them they will return home from here?
Yeah.
So it is, when we present, it feels like or it sounds like a big thing, but it's quite a bit of self inner journey. And sometimes it is, the outcome is always what he is saying is satisfying, fulfilling, and all that. It doesn't happen in one moment. At one moment when your belief system is broken, you feel like, oh, where am I? Where do I stand now? How do I stand? It's like that.
And then another thing also what happens, because you become very sensitive and you observe everything. So what happens once you are on the spiritual path? So life can be challenging because every time you feel, oh my God, this is missing. This is I'm slipping up. I'm going. So previously you were not aware of it. So
Yeah,
the journey is okay.
yeah.
Every moment you feel a challenge. How it escaped my notice.
And
Today
the more higher you go, and every little mistake will count as a, like a crime. How can you do this?
yeah,
But
because
then,
how could I made it? Yeah. So today, what happened yesterday? I gave some dollars for change to Sunanda. So she went out, she came back, she said, oh, I couldn't do it. And she put the whole thing in my front here in the table. So I put it, and there is a small pyramid is there. So I put it on the laptop. In between, the money was lying. So in the morning, I thought I will go. So I said, Sonu, where is this? She said, it should be there. I searched the whole thing. Then after 5 minutes, I couldn't get anywhere. I said, where it will go? Then she says, where are you? Are you in your heart center? I said, oh my God, what I'm doing. And the moment I went, I came out, I lifted the pyramid and it's there. So,
And now you have a police at home.
yes. Oh,
First
she is a
police
good,
inside you and second police outside you.
because she is not there, I can tell you. She is a police. For her, 2 plus 2 is always 4. For me, 2 plus 2 is never 4.
And for me, 2 plus 2 is 22. Think. Today, many masters are in yellow. Devyani ji, you and Shailesh ji and someone else. Reema ji was there, I think.
Just understand,
Oh,
see,
Jaya ji
glad.
too.
So just understand one thing, that in this queue, the lineup for the Kashi Vishwanath temple, that 9-hour lineup, what Preeti and I are doing is we are selling jhalmudi to the crowd. They are not telling that it is going to take 9 hours. We are simply saying that you probably need to eat this one to sustain your journey.
You know what? This time I went to India and my niece, she gave me a T-shirt and it is written spiritual gangster. And she's saying, you are a gangster, spiritual gangster. You just come and you just tell something and it makes me, think. And she's like young. So whenever I'm doing mandala and she's asking, why don't you give me this workbook? I want to do it too. We were in part 1 then. So she gifted me this spiritual gangster T-shirt. I said, okay, I'll wear it once then.
It is beautiful. It's beautiful. And really, and all the masters also, so loving. So the questions, the answers, the anxieties, so-called apparent slip-ups. Yeah, it's very nice actually. It's very, really nice. It's really nice.
And you adding special tadka to it, and we truly enjoy it. And I am really amazed to see your openness, and I wish that for me too. But I'm a very kind of stubborn. I learn slow. I will go through the crushing machine, grinding machine. I'll get my gems like that.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think if I look at Sunanda and yeah, because I feel she can tell 2013 in December 13th what happened. She can tell. She's- Mind yesterday what I take for breakfast I will not remember. She would say yesterday you are. I said why the same one today? She said yesterday you had a different one. So I said is it? She said you don't remember yesterday what. So we are totally different. But I enjoy the journey. Yeah, well, because I started why? Because yeah, I think ladies wants to very firm before they take any step. Uh, I, Shailesh also because he was in India, so you into unknown you just to jump into it. We'll see, we'll swim out somehow. That's the
Just think of this courage. I didn't had unified book in Hindi, and we started unified Hindi. जो होगा सो होगा. Don't know. It was Shailesh diligence that he completed the book and he joined the course and he started like I think week 6 or 5 he started. And then he took some time to catch up the past and then he said, okay, let me continue. And after that he started taking sessions from that.
it
So
is
till then
writing
I
so.
was alone in the journey on the front screen. Behind the scene, he was working and me, Neha and other masters, they were helping.
But in the translation, I'm trying to do it in Oriya. So I thought I was doing from first, second, and then I said no. Which chapter is being taught, that one I'll do it. You won't believe each paragraph is taking 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, one day. So that words, because it has to meaning has to come out. So it cannot be it's not like that dictionary meaning you can take it, because you have to know that when somebody is reading from that language he should be able to be there. So Oh, I can see how difficult it must have been for Shailesh, but wonderful. It is wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Without you, where we would have been today?
It is
No,
not
it's a
by
commitment.
it is not by accident that we are here together.
Thank
It's
you.
part of a
Shailesh.
plan. Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you, Shailesh. Thank you, Preeti. Thank you, all the
Thank
masters.
This,
you, and I will take a leave.
yeah,
Please
thank you.
continue.
Thank you, Preeti. Thank you. Okay. If any questions, if anyone has, we can definitely address them, or any thoughts they want to share. I'm pretty much here to help. There was a question here by Ranjana ji about her desire. So I have responded to her in the chat right here that the practices given for this chapter will help her. So she can try that out. Apart from that, I have shared whatever I wanted to say through the explanation. But if there is anything that you, the significance of spontaneity, pay attention to that part. Spontaneity is the key lesson here, the primary lesson, being aware of your spontaneity, becoming aware. So all the practices that we have included in the workbook will help you with that. They will essentially, if you think about it, if you have to be aware of your spontaneity, you have to be in the present moment. So this will help you stay in the present. That's all it is doing. And that itself, I mean, being in the present itself is such a relieving experience that you begin to enjoy it. Yeah. Yes. So that's all I had for sharing today. Tomorrow, of course, we will continue further. We'll do the workbook. And any questions, if you have, we will address there. But just continue to practice though. Don't lax on the practice part. Practice is the most important thing. Why? Because your specific inner existence is specific to you, and that you only can experience, you only can look and check. We can only help tell you how to do it, right? And like Ajay ji was saying that the job of the master is to take the student to the top as long as student is holding the hand. If the student says, well, I'm not playing with you, then we can't do anything. But the way I have seen the universe is organized, it is really very well organized. So when the student drops off, they find another teacher always. Teachers are available based on their state and their readiness. So basically, supply and demand. When there is demand, supply will automatically appear. Whenever there is demand, supply will appear. Irrespective of what the motivation is behind the supply, but supply always follows demand. This was a key learning I had when I used to do currency trading.
Oh,
So when I learned technical analysis of charts, that's where I learned about this aspect very, very well. Supply follows demand. Very, I have been all over the place in my life. I had programmed my own trading robot that used to trade by itself online currencies. and it made money and then it crashed everything. So I had both the experiences. It was fun. I mean, just learning. I used to enjoy. I wanted to see how my programming can automate actual trading. So this was in with real money. It used to trade, right? So that I have gone through all kinds of experiences in completely disconnected areas.
It
But
happens. Yeah.
supply and demand are very integral part of the nature. Those who do trading, anybody who does trading, who looks at charts, should understand that the chart is a beautiful representation of nature. Any chart you pick up, any currency or any stock chart or anything, I can show you how nature is reflected there. It's a beautiful representation of nature. And from there, you can see how nature creates order in chaos, right? It's seemingly there is a lot of chaos all around us. Like things are happening randomly, but there is so much order in that randomness.
The pattern is there.
Oh, absolutely beautiful things. So nature has a way of doing things, and that's when you start understanding relationship between time as we know of and nature's time. These are two separate things. That realization you get only there. Now, I mean, like when I look back in those times of my work, I look at them, then I realize why did all that come into my life? It was there to teach me about nature, the nature of nature. That's why it came into my experience. This is the beautiful part of nature. Everywhere it really makes you feel that awesomeness. You wonder what beautiful thing it is. All right. Okay. So I can keep talking forever, but I want to respect your time. You have spent so much time with us today for this session, and really grateful for all your sharing and
No, no,
also
thank you,
for
Satish.
being
Please, please don't say that.
part of the
I'm,
session
I'm,
today.
I'm, I'm enjoying the journey. You won't believe anybody, because more than anybody, because I can see how what these sages and saints and all those things they were talking of. It was very more theoretical for me, but
Mm.
now I can see how one can live, eat the knowledge.
Yes,
And even
exactly.
my own life, I have seen before spiritualism, before I stepped into it, life was honky dory. So everything has been provided. I don't think I have ever thought and did anything. It just came on the platter. But the moment I have stepped into spiritualism, every every step one has to take, it has been a challenge. Right, wrong, whether you are there, you are not there, is all the moment the challenges are thrown.
Yes.
Yeah, the nature has its own ways to teach you
Yes.
when you are ready, I think.
Absolutely. Yes. When we are ready, things do come. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you so
Thank you,
much, Ajay.
Swaydeshi.
Thank you. Thank you, Masters. We'll be here together again tomorrow. We'll continue the journey again.